All right, welcome to another episode from the chart readers, and yeah, this one's an interesting one. All right, there's a really good group of there. I don't know whether to call this a viewer request video or a recent runner video. All right, because you can see the first one's at near 30%. The next one I think is at 13-ish%. The third one, FEMY, crossed 100% today, and then I threw in JD. That was a viewer request, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I really have the Boys in the Hood song. Just my man JD is on free base. So I think I'm really just doing that one just so I can make that joke one more time at the end. But look, these are some interesting stocks, okay? I think QS is, at least, I'll be honest, I don't know what the news is on this, so I could use a little help from the viewers, but QS has a reason to believe. These other ones, I'm not sure if it's just, pump and dump or what it is. So I'll give you my opinions as I always do, but before we go any further, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. This is the first time I'm looking at the stock, so I will draw some horizontal support and resistance lines, and then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video on the internet, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do really does help me out with the YouTube algorithms. Biggest thing really is sharing the video. I don't have that big an online presence, but hey, let's get into it. And look, this first one is MNK, okay? Again, I don't know what happened the last 2 days, okay? In my head, there's a lot of technical reason to just say red, 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 green, 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 green. You know what I mean? But if there was news here, please let me know, because I obviously see this as a healthcare stock. Drug manufacturers, one thumb up, one thumbs down can do crazy things, right? So before I talk a little further about the immediate, let's just zoom out, right? And man, there's not a lot here. Let me go in the weekly, just make sure. Yeah, there's not a lot. This is a very, very, oh wait, no, hold on. It's an old stock. I take that back. It's from 24, 20. Okay, so it is an older stock. I have no idea what happened here. It just literally died right here, for lack of words, and then recently came back. So I'm not here pretending I know everything and everything about stocks, right? So I have never seen this before, to say the least, okay? That makes sense what happens here, and then yeah, I guess I didn't see the years as I zoomed out back. But all right, this is an interesting chart. At the very minimum though, the main comments that I normally do when I zoom out are basically, what does it look like with the moving averages? And what am I seeing? I'm seeing it under most of the moving averages, right? Definitely well under most, definitely well under most, right? So that's essentially what I am kind of curious about, okay? The next thing we got to talk about, like I said, is just volume. We're going to come down here, okay? So I've seen a pop before, and look at this thing, went to 75 million. I mean, roughly speaking, the same that we saw today, right? So we see a giant pop only to watch it go from almost, I mean, literally 6 something down to basically 60 something, if not lower, right? So that is a more than a 90% loss since the last pump, right? You can't see this and ignore that, all right? That said, look, we break 2 moving averages, and look, this is not a great confirmation candle. I know this says 28%. I know this is a green candle, and generally green is good, but this isn't a good one to me, because look in the box over there. This opens at 205. Right, you see it opens up here and then comes all the way down to 260. More people lost 20%, right? Because go down from 2 something all the way here, you're basically giving up 40 cents 2020, right? So more people lost 20% than probably made 28. That's the way I see these days, you know what I mean? And yes, we're technically over the 50, but again, this isn't a beautiful candle to me. And really tomorrow, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we come down to 140, if not maybe even, oh, that's basically the 50. Okay, this either I think comes to 140 Okay, and it's funny, right? I'm going to give you a couple different scenarios of what could happen because really, again, I have no crystal ball, right? Like I'm just giving you what is it doing after hours? Let's take a look. It's going down, but nothing significant. There's basically three outcomes I kind of see. Number one is 50% candle here, and roughly speaking, that takes us either into this horizontal or the 100 moving average. So I think I would take the 100 is just a little too high. Maybe it's the top right here, basically the top of this guy. All right, but that might be where the 100 comes down. Okay, 350 is a very real target, okay, for tomorrow. I'm going to draw this line, but eventually it's going to become very insignificant because the 100 moving average will become more important. But look, from where we sit right now to here, red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 like there, it could be a really high fly up here. It could be a drop to this, basically the top of this guy, or a drop even lower to 95, 96 cents. We might actually come back down to this. Because again, like I said, yes, we broke two. Yes, that's not a bad candle. No, this does not confirm the fact that we've broken both. And let's just talk about this 20 moving average line real quick. Just look at this view. We have been well under the orange line the entire time, except for this little pop right here, right? And actually, just zooming out even more, basically since here, we've been well under it, except for the few days right there, right? So this 200 line's no joke. All we did was quickly pop, and we might come back to it. So don't underestimate a 97 cent close, okay? Don't believe that this might not, and again, a drop to 130, right? I'm just kind of doing the math. That's another 20% loss potentially if it comes down to this line, right? But go up to this 3 something and we're talking about a 2x maybe, right? So, you know, I think I'm going to lower that line to like here. Again, we're still talking about roughly that 2x, right? So it's not like that moves that much, but I'm at least going to give it a little bit of distance between the 100. So, look, I would watch this tomorrow. And where would I set my alert? Where are you at? Okay. I'm going to set my alert right here. That's too high. I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to call it 172. 172 in my mind is a safe enough distance above the 50 moving average line. It's at least getting me into this candle and it's getting me into the gap, and it definitely has me over this, right? So we're well over that anyways. But yeah, let me believe we're in this candle. Like I said, I maybe got a little greedy and should have waited a little bit higher into the 180s. But yeah. I would like to know if this thing continues, because again, this had a good day compared to yesterday's volume. This is still actually a healthy RSI, and that's still a relatively realistic MACD. It's not like it did this like really silly pop-up that I've seen a bunch of like this. Those are really silly pop-ups. I don't really think that's happening here. Definitely does kind of happen here, right? But I think the fact that they both aren't doing it makes me believe a little more. I don't think the weekly matters too much. Oh, interesting. 250. Where's 250 at? 250 might be a little bit of a hard line to break. Where's that at? Oh, interesting. That's not even really here. I got to draw that. That's for sure not going to be an easy line, right? Just coming off the weekly. Good to know. Okay, cool. Again, hey, that 170 something to 180 something to 250 is still a really good. Don't get me wrong, all right? But yeah, I think it's important that we have that because, again, I think that weekly line is going to be important. But MKD, MNK, wow, talk about dyslexic. MNK looks really interesting. There's not even a D in the next one, Jesus. All right, quantum scape. All right. Couple things happening here, all right? Yes, I for sure see this big wick, all right? I actually don't care. It does suck that the high of the day was 13 and it came all the way down. Someone definitely lost a decent percentage going from 13 to 10 if it happened, okay? That said, look, we do a beautiful job of bouncing off the 20 moving average. We are over all 5 moving averages. We are holding this uptrend. We had a beautiful volume spike. We have a reset of the RSI. Our MACD wants to reset and is at least holding positive. And more than anything, I believe today was an earnings release is what happened. It gaps up. Again, it would have been nicer if it kept going, but post-market, where are you? Again, I think it's the same comments I said with Tilray. I think the first candle doesn't matter. The goal will be that this thing continues to go. Oh, wow, I have no lines on this? You're lying. Interesting. Okay, let's draw some lines here. The first thing I kind of want to draw is this. Where are we relative to that 50% candle? All right, looks like we've broken that 50% candle. It's roughly the top of that, bottom of those, bottom of that. Yeah, okay, I'm glad we're over that. We're now going to start climbing, right? So here's kind of the next thing right here. Oh, I think that's a decent line. Here's the next thing right here, right? Let's take the top of you. I think that's an easy one. Yeah, and then again, we'll take it to here. I think this is a good next few tranches. Man, I'm not even going to lie. I don't know if I should take it to that or take it up to there. Hold on. Let me put it here and then zoom back real quick because I see something down here. Yeah, I'm cool with that. All right, these are our next lines up. And again, I'm not saying that this is going to go to 21. That's obviously a 2x, right? But this might be going to 21. Actually, you know what I mean? So, look, even as I'm looking at this, I don't draw the trend lines too often, but basically, we're taking the top of that. We're taking the top of that. Yeah, we've broken that, right? And yeah, I'm liking this a lot, right? So even if we want to say it was the top of that one instead of this one, which I don't believe. I think this is the bigger candle, but let's even say that one. We're kind of on that now, and you know what? I'm gonna leave that there just to add a little extra difficulty to this confirmation. But again, I really like what happened today. I'm seeing a fantastic golden cross on the 2 move. The 50 just golden cross both of those, and like I said, it looks like it wants to keep going up. 20 still going up, 8 looks like it wants to keep going up, resetting, good volume. There's a lot to like. And look, we've actually been at this volume level before. Today's not a crazy anomaly. So let's look at the weekly. I think the weekly is going to confirm it. Oh yeah, man, look at this thing. All we're doing is continuing on up. And instead of maybe the possibility of coming back down to here, it said, no, we're going to go back up. And look at where it wicked. It wicked the weekly 100. Look at that. There is a lot. That's a super healthy RSI that is now a MACD that's converging. Dude, that's beautiful volume. Even if we don't ignore that one, just to... Man, there is so much to like about QS. And again, this should be the start, right? Clearly, in a lot of ways, this was a start. It went from 8 to 10 already. That's already what? 2, 4, 6, 8. That's a 25 right there, right? So this ain't over. This ain't over by a long shot, actually. I really like it. And look, there's some big tranches as well if things go up, right? So going from here to here, it's not quite a 50%, but that's not bad. Again, from here to here, it's not quite 33, but that's not bad. And hey, red, green, red. There's some good channels here. Maybe there's something drawn in between that, but I don't think so, even honestly. QS, there is a lot to like here. One more time, okay? FEMY. All right, this is one that I do not know very well, all right? And a couple immediate things are jumping out, but let's do what we normally do. We're going to zoom out. Oh, my goodness. There is not a lot of history here. Interesting. That always makes things interesting, right? When there's not a lot of history, it's really easy to break all the history, right? So I don't know if there was news. Again, I see healthcare. I see medical instruments and supplies. I don't know if they got a thumbs up, thumbs down contract. I don't know if this was nothing more than just trading well under the 8 and the 20 for so long that we get a silly recovery. Look, today breaks 4 out of the 5 moving averages. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We gap over these, we break this one, we break this one. Tomorrow has to close right here. Yeah, that's the line, actually. I do think it is. It's the bottom of that guy. I like that. Maybe even a little... Yeah, you know what? Let's even go a little bit lower. I'll give you the bottom of this guy. Let's take that. Basically, bottom of this guy. This has to close at 120 tomorrow. Okay, maybe you can argue a close of 1 is enough because you're at least taking those and you know, attacking the 200 by itself. But if you're gonna break 4 moving averages on a single day, I need, look, if you're going to break 2, I need good confirmation. If you're going to break 3, I need great confirmation. If you're going to break 4, I need some wildly, wildly good confirmation. All right. And I think that's the 120 number. All right. Which is a big jump from this. Actually, it's another 50% burger. But hey, if you're going to drop 130, you should be able to get 50% again. Right. Like that's kind of how this thing works. I am not a fan of any of these 3 down here. Obviously, that looks like good divergence. Obviously, that looks like good divergence. Obviously, that's a lot of big volume. But the problem is, let's take a day before. Volume the day before was 250,000. Not like 4x would be 1 million shares, and then 170 times that would be this 172 million, right? So let's just say we almost 800x'd volume from yesterday to today, okay? That's incredibly hard to believe and imagine is going to get replicated or held tomorrow. Okay, what is this doing after? Oh my goodness, you're holding after hours. Wow. Obviously, it went down a little bit, but like not a lot, in all honesty. It's relatively speaking holding the 100. Look, my immediate honest thought is this is going to close at least right here-ish. I would think 72 cents makes a lot of sense, no pun intended, for this thing to close at. Let's just even call it a flat 70, okay? I actually think this is also a realistic possibility, coming all the way down to 60. Because again, just looking at the stock, we've said that the 50 moving average has been difficult. There was a little bit of a bump over it. It's been a really difficult line, little bit of a bump over it. It's been like this 50 MA, you can clearly see the red line more than you can't. You know what I mean? And I think I'm just not buying this, right? Again, if there was some really wild news, please let me know in the comments. I really didn't look at the headline. Someone just threw me this ticker, and you know that's what I love to do, right? Just see what I can do. So, yeah, again, this either comes up to 120 and flies. Maybe you can argue $1 is still decent confirmation. The day after will hopefully confirm the dollar. But, yeah. Don't be surprised if this thing comes down to 70 or even 60, honestly. I think it'll be hard to say it'll come down this low. I think anyone talking this low is spreading a little fear, but hey, it's actually a possibility because, again, we've been struggling with the 8 and 20 so much that, yeah, this could be a real quick pump and dump. So more than anything, I'm telling you, my gut says this is a pump and dump unless there is a significant headline that makes you believe money is flowing into this company. You know what I mean? So I would love a little more info here, okay? All right, JD.com. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like love this chart. I don't hate this chart. One more time, the main reason I'm doing it, obviously I'm doing it because it's a viewer request and I love all my viewers and I appreciate you all so much. I can't stop singing Boys in the Hood. My man JD is on free base. And it's just stuck in my head since this morning when I saw it. So I at least had to get it out, okay? What's happening right now is we have a moving average cluster. We have 4 moving averages super tight. And I'll be honest, I'm really surprised at this chart formation given the volume. All right, what is that? What does the minute look like? Oh, okay. These are better minute candles than I expected. All right. I think, yeah, it shouldn't have done the dashes on like a low one, but what surprises me are these crazy gap ups and gap downs literally between every single candle, if not like 75% of it, right? Like that's not normal movement, okay? Especially when the candles aren't this big, okay? So I don't understand gap up, gap down, gap down, gap down, you know, like gap up, gap, like it's moving really erratically, just again for something that has 11 million average volume. What really matters here, again, and we've shown, and I will show you some examples, but it's hard to escape moving averages when they get so tight, all right? The simplest examples we've been watching recently was Palantir. You can see it, right? It looks like you're gonna go, looks like you can't. Looks like you're gonna go, looks like you can't. Looks like you're, you know, like looks like you're gonna die and then takes off, right? Another example is ENZC. This one's actually just living it right now, right? Just super tight, super tight, super tight. We're actually kind of going down from it a little bit, right? So another one was HUSA. Again, this one went down, but the moral was super tight, super tight, super tight, super tight, super tight, right? So again, moving average clusters are not something I like. I don't like it when they look like this. However, if we can get a hardcore break out of this, it might be this line. Oh, wow. We're testing that. I see what you like about JD. Oh man, we're close to this too. I'm telling you, I think the spacing between these candles is making it really hard. I would draw this line. I think this would be my line. I think if you can get over 39.90, I think 40 cents, that should hopefully be a good confirmation for you to believe and go up. As I'm saying it though, I don't know if I need to move it up to here. I think I do. I think I would raise that number to 40.50. I think getting to 40.50, you're going to believe you've escaped this, and that hopefully will be a really quick ride up to 45, which actually is a little bit more than 10%. The money line here is breaking your 200. If you can break the 200 at 45.25, you can see in the box over there, that's where you'll get your shot to come up to here. And I mean, look, that is where I would draw the next line. Like, that's a good thick little horizontal there. Maybe you can argue it could go a little lower. I'll take that. Why not? Let's do that. Basically the bottom of this guy and kind of the plateau here. But yeah, from here to here is 10%. From here to here looks like almost 20% because you're at 45 and you're basically adding 10, right? So I see why you like JD. I don't think you were singing the Boys in the Hood song in your head. Sorry for the bad joke. But yeah, the issue just is these moving average clusters. And again, I think just look at, like, this is it does this a lot. The gap up and gap downs are just really, really weird here. I remember JD.com. I know, again, you know I don't like doing that. I know this was a $100 stock. I remember this. I remember this climb, actually. I didn't make a lot of money on it, but this is where I learned what JD.com was, actually. But yeah, there's some interest, and actually this isn't a bad weekly. Now that we're here, look, we've tried to test the 20 and failed. We almost broke the 20. We actually hold the 8, and we're back there again. Next week could be interesting. Next week actually could, and again, this one says 45 as well, and this one kind of says 55 right after that. So, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I might be watching JD, and if you really want to know the truth, I think I gotta set an alert. I think I'm gonna do I gotta delete some stuff, but yeah, I think I'm gonna set something around here. So, hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, again, you know I appreciate you so much.